Hi here, James Disdale there.
Hello.
We're in an electric car. Why is that, mate?
We are in an electric car for a feature that is going to appear in Autocar, the magazine, about new vehicles versus used vehicles. So what you can buy look, I'm thinking to buy a new car, but look what you could get
For the same money.
for the same money used. And so we are in a very particular electric car, very nice electric car. Should I tell the loyal listeners?
Well, they might have seen it, mate. 'Cause it's
Well,
on
yeah. It is a vodcast, isn't it, I suppose?
Yeah, exactly. The clues in the... Go on, what is it?
It's a Porsche Taycan.
I like it. And it's
Sport Turismo, so the one to have, basically.
Is the Sport Turismo the one to have? That's the estate, but not. They would, I'm sure, be appalled if we called it an estate. But that's what it is, isn't it?
It is.
It's an estate version.
I personally would say it's the one to have.
It's better looking. You know?
It's better looking. It's more useful.
Yeah, has got a boot.
Yeah.
And the other one's got a boot, but it's a saloon, isn't it?
It
so
is.
This is the one. What do you think of the? Is it the Cross Turismo? The taller
Cross
one with the bit of
Turismo.
cladding?
Do you know what? I do quite like the Cross Turismo because it's not really an SUV.
No,
but it's got a bit of extra ride height, a bit of extra comfort.
Yeah.
They're all twin motors, those ones. Whereas this is a.
Oh right, yeah. Go on. So what's the spec?
So this is a single motor.
Yeah. Does this have the long range battery?
Oh, now you've got
But
me.
you can have a long range battery.
You can have a long range battery.
Yeah.
I believe this has got a long range battery. We will.
I like that. I think my preferred Taycan, because I know they're all. You can have the turbo. It hasn't got a turbo, but you know what I mean. Turbo S, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I like a long range Taycan single motor. I think it's got a nice balance to it. I think it's quick enough for me. I've had some journalists go, you could do with a bit more mid range. It's enough for me.
It's 400 and a bit horsepower. I mean, I know it's tugging along
It's
2 tons.
Weight, yeah, but still.
And I don't want to get all kind of road testery about this, but it's just nicely balanced. The rear wheel drive motor, it's not trying to be too clever. So there's a car we'll be swapping into shortly.
You can be road testery about this. That's
I know.
Point. But yeah, I think it's got a nice rear drive.
So yeah, we've just been doing
uncorrupted steering. Uncorrupted steering.
It has got uncorrupted steering. Yes, sorry.
Sorry, that was too road testery.
No, I like uncorrupted steering. I like that.
Yeah.
It's got good texture.
That's it.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So it feels nicely balanced. It doesn't, because it's only a single motor, it's not trying to do too much. The twin motor ones, when you're starting to push on a bit and do silly stuff for the camera sometimes, it starts to try and second guess what you're trying to do and where it's going to send
Interesting
torque, whereas this always just feels nice, like a nicely balanced rear wheel drive car.
Yeah, which in fact it is.
It's
so Taycan prices start at about 85, don't they?
New, yes.
New, yes. So by the time you've gone and put some bits on, because presumably most people do put a few bits.
I think
in,
so.
did they?
I think the Porsche shareholders would be very disappointed if you didn't put a few bits on.
Yeah.
Then you're looking at 100,000, I think. I don't think there are many that leave a showroom costing less than 100,000.
Yeah. So by the time it's got some miles on it, what's the damage, mister? What are you looking at?
Well, so this one is a 2023 car. So it's effectively a second-hand car. So this is a car that I think we're running on the Autocar.
Oh, on the Autocar fleet. Yes, I think you're right.
Yeah, as an approved used Porsche, effectively. And I have a feeling it's 65 it's retailing at.
Well, that's convenient. Because what else is £65,000?
Well, there is a certain high-performance electric vehicle that has been meeting with rave reviews called the Ioniq 5N from Hyundai, which is about £65,000.
So hence the new versus used angle to your
exactly.
feature. But I think, right, I know this is a new used feature, but I think if you were in the market for an Ioniq 5N, you could also be in the market for a Taycan of sorts. Do you think that's fair?
I think that's fair. My head is still slightly scrambled by that because when I started out in this business 20 years ago, I couldn't even perceive of a headline where Porsche versus Hyundai.
Porsche versus Hyundai was the thing.
Yeah, that you'd even consider it in the same.
No, well, funnily enough, actually,
paragraph.
I did what did I do? I did something with I mentioned, I think, when I did a Lotus Electra test, I think I mentioned Kia EV9. And somebody was like, that'd be ridiculous. Somebody said considering a Lotus Electra would never consider a Kia. But actually, one of my mates has got a Lotus as his company vehicle.
Okay.
And he wanted a big car with a family.
Yeah.
He did consider an EV9. They are now 80 to 100. You know, so the EV9's an 80,000 quid car. So of course they're rivals. You're talking to people who have 12, 13, 1,500 pounds a month on a company vehicle and are going, what shall I get?
And they are no longer as worried about brand and
I don't think they are.
as they are. I think
Genuinely.
they design.
Yeah,
I remember when the man one of the many people who claimed to have designed the Audi TT, Peter Schreier.
Right. Okay.
He
probably did, didn't he?
I think he did.
Yeah.
He went to Kia.
Yeah.
And his big push was people will buy design, and so Kia.
Oh, interesting.
Have you only have to look at an EV9, and we were just talking to our colleague, Mr. Matt Saunders, about this.
Yeah.
Who we had a Kia Sorento knocking about, and he said, I can't help feeling a bit disappointed by that. Now that they've launched an EV9, it's such a bold vehicle.
I see. That the Sorento looks.
My standards for Kia have now been set so high.
Oh, that's interesting.
And I think an EV9, it sort of transcends the brand. People are almost going, I'm having an EV9.
Yeah. So what's this like to drive, mate?
It's really, really, really nice. It's just, it rides, so we're in normal mode.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we're in Sport. In fact, we're in Sport Plus, look.
Oh, we?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because, sorry, we were doing some photography.
I see, yes, of course.
So we're in normal. So it rides really nicely. Steering's got that lovely, it just feels like a Porsche. It's got Porsche damping.
What I really like about it. That's
Porsche
what
steering.
I really like about this car. I know we go, it retains, it's a terrible road testery word, approaching Porsche DNA. It feels like a Porsche.
Totally, 100%. And even the motor sound I quite like.
Go on, give it everything.
I mean, I think that's quick enough.
That is quick enough.
That is quick enough.
And we're also on a sort of a perimeter road around an airfield, aren't we?
Yeah.
And they don't always. I mean, they're quite wide, and we know there's nothing coming. On a back road, you'd know that was shifting.
Yeah, I mean, this sort of saps speed sensation slightly, and it still feels quick.
Yeah.
I think it's the best of the bunch. Basically, it's just so beautifully balanced, and the fact they're now, I mean, at 65,000, it's not cheap.
No,
but it's affordable,
and that's only a year old.
So older ones, I think they've now down to 40 grand. And I know Porsche's struggling.
There's a lot of them. If you go on some of the classified ad websites, you can. There is a pick of them.
And it's interesting. I'd be fascinated to delve more into why people are abandoning them and not trading up to another one, for instance. Because I think there's some of that going on.
Right.
People going, I've done electric Porsche, great, it was fantastic, but it either doesn't fit into my lifestyle, or it could fit into my lifestyle, but frankly, I've got money and I don't need to care about running costs and stuff. Yeah. Some of that is anecdotal, but I get the sense, for whatever reason, they're struggling.
Anyway, so we like it. It's a sports estate super saloon, we would have called it once upon a time. I'm not a saloon, but you know what I mean, super estate car, M5-ish sort of, BMW M5-ish sort of car.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's got the same power as an E39 M5. So it's quite an old M5, but it's still enough.
It's roomy, it's got a boot, it's fun to drive.
Yeah.
But there is another.
There is another.
There is a new contender.
Yes.
In an almost similar, it's like somebody at Porsche is going to get on the phone and go, these are not rivals to each other. And they're not strictly, are they?
Well,
but they're not miles apart.
I can only imagine, and of course there are quite a lot of Porsche engineers that have driven that car and gone, oh,
this is a good thing.
Yes.
I don't. There are manufacturers who I think should be worried about the Ioniq 5N. I'm not sure Porsche is one of them, because this feels like a true Porsche to me.
No, and there are things about that car, and we'll discuss it when we drive it, where you've already driven it quite a bit, haven't you?
Yeah.
Where they've tried to do some stuff that make it like an internal combustion engine vehicle. Whereas I read something quite recently with Porsche engineers saying, we don't want to make our electric cars.
Okay.
Drive like, it's like, there are lots of things about electric motors that are really good for high performance vehicles, and we want to accentuate those. Not, because I imagine they're still going to have a range of internal combustion engine cars for quite a long time, and if that's what you want, go and buy one of those.
Okay. Well, shall we?
Shall we? I think we should.
Yep.
I really like this, by the way.
I really like this car.
I think it's a perfect spec. We've swapped seats.
Yes. It's good seats, actually, aren't they?
They are quite good seats.
Can you, if somebody said, how long ago would somebody have had to say to you, hang on, how am I going to phrase this? At what point in history did this seem okay that Hyundai makes a car like this? Not okay, as it would never have been anything wrong with them making a car like this. But at what point in history would you have gone, that'd be ridiculous? They wouldn't. Of course, they're not going to do a car like that.
That's a really. Do you know what? See, on my way here,
Yeah.
I was stuck in traffic on the M25 because that's basically what you do on the M25.
Yeah.
And I was sort of next to a lane with a Hyundai Coupe Series 3. Oh yeah, it's going to beep at you.
Yeah, it thinks I'm going over the speed limit, but I'm not.
You're on a private road.
Yeah.
I could tell you how to switch it off, but I have absolutely no idea.
Did you not drive down here this morning?
I obeyed the speed limit.
Well, of course. Of course you did. I mean, we all do.
Exactly.
Right. Anyway, sorry, go on. You pick up the story, and I will...
Should we try and solve this quickly? Because that's going to be very irritating.
Right, hang on. No, it's not in there. It's not in mode, is it? If I put it up on the favourites, is that all right? Star thing.
Oh.
There we go. There we go.
Oh yeah, driving safety.
Speed limit.
Yes.
The speed limit says speed limit warning, speed limit information off. There we go.
Little swine.
So
Right.
yeah, so it's basically on a shortcut button.
Okay.
Anyway, so pick up the story. Pony?
Pony? No, it was very bad. It was a Coupe S3.
Oh right,
Series
okay.
3 Coupe.
Oh, so
Coupe. And I thought,
after the Scoopé.
after the Scoopé, and I thought to myself, God, I do remember they were actually quite good to drive.
Yeah, they were right.
So they've always had a
did
bit
a
of
V6, didn't they, as well?
They did a V6,
Yeah.
yeah. It was the facelift of the one that looked a bit like a 456 Ferrari. If you squinted.
It squinted quite a lot.
Or didn't look at it.
And why is that telling me? What was that telling me?
Lane departure, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? Anyway.
But something like this, I don't know. I think we all were probably a little bit not sceptical when i30N was first
Yes.
mooted, and that turned out to be pretty bloody good.
I really like that car.
Yeah.
I think I'm not sure it was. I don't know if it was as highly rated as it should have been by some people. I don't know. I thought it was great. I thought it was the best in the class.
I tell you what.
And a lot of other people went, oh, I don't know, it rides a bit firmly and blah blah blah. But I really liked it.
In the group test between that Peugeot 308 GTI by Peugeot Sport and a Volkswagen Golf GTI that I wrote for a monthly magazine.
Oh yeah.
With 3 letters. I made the Hyundai win. I thought it was
quite right, mate, in my book.
It was like, wow, where did this come from?
Yeah.
And it was so full of. It was over-engineered. You could tell they were trying to go, this is how good we can be, but we're going to give you all this stuff that everyone else charges you extra for, or doesn't even think about putting in there.
Yeah.
Like all of the end products, and this is like the peak of that. It's slightly. It is very much RFM. Read the manual.
Oh right, yes, okay. Because of the amount of stuff that's going on.
It's almost overkill.
Yeah.
They could have just gone, that's the setting.
Yeah.
We can set this up so the dampers do that.
Yeah,
the throttle does that. The
they've
steering
really
does
gone
that.
to town, haven't they? Yeah.
But other than that, yeah, it was exceptional. And I tell you what, I did drive, and I don't know many people for whatever reason. That got a go in it. Was the 250 brake horsepower version of that?
Ooh.
So they did 2.
Oh,
power
they did
levels.
a low power one, didn't
and
they?
that was on smaller wheels with higher profile tyres.
Oh, but that was lovely.
That was really, really nice. And they just didn't sell any because everything was done on finance. People would go in and go, well, I can have
damage?
The really all singing, all dancing one for another 20 quid a month. So I'll do that. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll bet that 250 horsepower N was really good.
It was really nice. It was really nicely balanced, rode really nicely, had just the right amount of performance.
Yeah.
And it's just a shame because it didn't have the big power and the bigger wheels, and the mechanical locking diff.
Oh, of course, yeah.
It was kind of overlooked. And as I say, the monthlies meant that why would you buy one if you could have the...
Yeah, because they're probably, given the
Super duper
residuals,
one.
they're probably about the same price, aren't they?
Exactly.
Did you ever drive a Toyota, the first gen GR Yaris, without the circuit pack?
Oh, now that's a good question.
Is that a good question?
Did I? What did we have on junior handling day?
Oh, that everyone we had on proper test had the circuit pack. I'm
No,
pretty sure.
I've not driven one then.
You know, and I took one out from their little base down at where they used to keep them, and just on the roads around the South Downs, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good, but it lacked the diffs, and it also got softer springs. But actually, just as a pure out on a twisty road car, I thought it was really
like most roads are.
Yeah, but do you know what I mean? Without the focus going for it.
I think
it felt a really nice sort of flow to it. I thought, right, delicate sort of flow to it.
I think that's.
But I don't think
the
anybody
way.
bought them.
It's such a shame, and that's partly. It's not. I don't think we can take full responsibility of that, because as you found, I think you're probably one of the few people that will have actually driven that car.
Yeah.
I think I was one of the few people that drove the 250 i30N.
Yeah.
They just don't put them out there enough for people to try.
For people to try.
And I think we have got in a bit of a mindset where bigger, faster, better.
Is bigger, faster, better.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to this.
Yes.
Sorry, I've been yakking on. I've not told you what it is, but you know what it's like. It's great.
It is,
isn't it? It's really. It's a bit nuggety.
It is. The one
over some of these surfaces, but it steers like a proper car.
The steering's really good.
Yeah.
It's got like proper grainy feel.
Yeah.
I said textural last time. This is grainy.
I like grainy feel.
What I liked about it, what I was surprised, in fact, was that how much like the Taycan it felt in some respects.
In which respects?
Just the steering, the way it goes about its business. It doesn't ride as nicely.
No.
But it just feels very expensively engineered.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just driving it in EV mode here, but I could put it in.
So you need one of your N buttons. So
there's one of my N buttons set up for it. Oh, it's this one, isn't it?
So that one will give you the gears and the engine noise.
Have I got gears now?
Yeah. I mean, that is...
It does do a convincing job, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It really does do a convincing job.
I mean, the engine noise isn't particularly nice.
No.
But the way the software makes the motors behave is uncanny.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's a gap. And if I put it in, let's put it in. Will it take 8th gear? So yes, 8th gear, 1300 revs. I'm now really lugging it out.
I mean, it is remarkably cool that it does that.
Oh, sorry, I'm still in 6th. It's not fast enough. And then if you don't want it, you just stick it back in whatever, Now I'm back in EV mode.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is it's got so many different facets to its character. It'll do so many different things. You can put it in front drive mode if you want to.
Yeah, I was messing around with the... It's not as nicely balanced when you start to do that as the Porsche. It's a bit spikier.
Yeah.
But then I imagine, they don't want you driving like a lunatic. Well, maybe they do. Nice, isn't it?
It's really good. Oh, hello. It's really good. Oh my goodness, I really like this car. And you know what I like is they've gone, well, we can't make hot hatchbacks anymore because of the CO2 output from them. So we are going to have to make an EV, but let's just not make an EV like any one we've made before. We can't do a performance car the old way, so let's do a performance car an entirely different way.
Yeah.
God, if you're taking one away for the next 12 months.
Yeah.
As a company vehicle, and then in 12 months' time you're giving it back and you'll get something else, and you've got your Golf GTI on the driveway.
Yeah. Underneath the cover, gently rotting.
Well, you've got the rest of your stuff. You've got the MX-5 and Defender. It's your company vehicle for the next year. Porsche or Hyundai, you're taking the Taycan.
I think I'm probably by the narrowest of margins. I like the purity of it. I like the fact that it's unashamedly an electric car. It doesn't try and be but it's a Porsche. It drives like a Porsche. That single engine thing is very pure.
Yeah.
But it would be tough because this is hilarious. But I would worry that I'd end up sticking it in N mode all the time and driving like an absolute,
lunatic.
Yes, I was going to use another word, but sensitive ears.
Family show.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about where would you be?
I don't know. Actually, I'm getting to the end. I genuinely.
It's tough, isn't it?
It's really tough. I might go for the Hyundai.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like its spirit. I like the fun that it tries to impart into your life. It's doesn't take itself too seriously. I mean, it is a serious performance car, but it's just like, what, you want to make a load of noise and do gear shifts? Fine. You want to do drifts? Fine. Tell you what, I could do front wheel drive mode if you really want. I'd be rear drive, front drive, electric, pretend to be petrol. I can make whizzy noises, but there's a real depth of ability to all of that as well.
Do you know what?
That I am a sucker for. But I also think, actually, if I was to,
do you know what? You convinced me.
Yeah, but I'm just about to convince myself in the other direction as well. Because also, if I go on a night, an evening out, you go to the theatre. I mean, I don't go to the theatre very much, but go to the theatre, go to the opera, go out for dinner, come out. What do you want to see outside to drive home in?
Yeah.
There is something really classy about a Taycan to just get in and
it just drives so nicely.
And actually, as a sort of a motorway tool and stuff, it's. So mate, I also don't know.
There's a purity to it that I like with the Taycan. I mean, this knows what it is, but it can also be 15 other different things as well.
Yeah.
Whereas the Taycan knows what it is and just goes, well, take it or leave it.
Yeah.
What I am is I'm a Porsche basically. I'm a really fast, enjoyable to drive, comfortable, quick Porsche.
Yeah.
And you can fit stuff in the boot if you want, and take some friends with you.
Yeah.
He knows me though. He knows I don't have any friends. So. Do you know what? I think it's perfectly fair. In many ways, they're two very different cars.
Yeah.
And I think you'd be right to be torn. And I think it's a huge, without being patronising, it's huge kudos to Hyundai that they've delivered a car. And that goes back to that. It's such a short amount of time from i30N to this.
Yeah, you're right.
And I know they've poached quite a lot of very good people.
Yeah.
Mr. Bierman, Mr. Tyrone Johnson.
Yeah.
Who know
performance cars.
Yeah, and have like huge depth of experience in that. But it's still no easy feat to turn out something as convincing as this.
Yeah.
And this, I tell you what's interesting about both of these is that you really enjoy them, and they could have internal combustion engines or not. The EV part of it doesn't really make any difference.
No.
To me, I'm
with you.
Once have I thought, God, that Taycan, I've never got, it'd be nice to put a V8 engine in.
Yeah, because I do sometimes think that about some cars. You just think, that would be nice with an engine, or actually that would be nice with a motor.
Yeah.
But with this and the Porsche, they're both. Yeah. All right. Well, we don't have a verdict again, so that's fine.
Excellent.
Thank you for joining us. We will be back another time in the foreseeable at some point.
Think of some things to be grumpy about. We haven't been grumpy again. There's not been enough. We might have to change the name of this middle-aged tread.
Grumpy about the name.
Yeah. Well, there you go. There's something to be grumpy about.
Because we're being pitched as middle-aged grumpsters and unusually women.
We could just call it Turned Out Nice After All.
Turned Out Nice After All. Thanks for joining us on Turned Out Nice After All. We'll see you for the next one. You can find us over at autocar.co.uk and themagazineshop.com/autocar with the entire 129-year Autocar archive.
Excellent.
In the meantime, thank you, mate.
Thank you.
Cheerio.
Bye.